Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to Speak. I'm Joy Taylor here with Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson, NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce, and Fox Sports NFL insider TJ Hushmanzada.
What's good?
What? What?
No, I just wanted to hear. There you go.
What?
Just give you a few.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
A couple of Reese's peanut butter cups.
Peanut butter cups.
Hey, my favorite top candy.
One of my favorite candies.
One of my favorite candies.
Today is my last day this week. Are you guys ready for Keith to do the prompter?
Oh, wow. Look how she did me.
We could.
Like, I'm going to be going, the Chiefs have one classic bowl. Wait a minute. Come on now.
We got to have Paul do it. Why don't you read that, Paul?
Yeah.
Well, check it out.
Oh,
the
God.
Chiefs have won 3 of the last 6 Super Bowls, but Kansas City is coming off a shocking loss in the last NFL game we watched, Super Bowl 59. Patrick Mahomes and company suffered an 18-point loss at the hands of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but Mahomes says that Kansas City's approach to this will be different. Take a listen.
I don't want to say it was pressure, but guys wanted to go out there and win every single week, not for the fun in the game, just because we're supposed to. Let's go out there and have fun. I mean, the wins will come if we play the way that we know we can play. We have the talent, we have the coaches, we work harder than anybody in the NFL.
Hey, Paul! Hey, well
I went
done.
to Kansas University. It's a difference between Kansas and USC.
Key, what are your expectations for the Chiefs this season?
You know, first of all, I think they're going to be a playoff team. I don't think they'll win the division. 11-12 wins. I know it's a shocker to many people's system, but you think about it, the Chargers are coming. And the reason that they're coming in this situation, if you look at Harbaugh, second, third year in the NFL, any program that he takes over, that program tends to get better. They were a playoff team a year ago, and I think even though they've retooled their offensive line in Kansas City, they're getting Rashee Rice back. Obviously, Travis Kelce has lost a little bit of weight. He feels re-energized again. They bring in Hollywood Brown back. They got a nice defense. They didn't lose too much, but I still worry a little bit about the left tackle spot. One of the problems for the Kansas City Chiefs over the years has been the offensive line. Can that offensive line stand up? Can they hold up the whole course of the season so he's not running around, getting beat up, put on his back on a consistent basis? And if they do that and they keep him upright, I think they're a 12-win team. I mean, there's nothing wrong with winning 12 games a year and making it to the postseason. I just don't think we're going to see the same Kansas City Chief team, and I know it hurts the soul of Kansas City Chief fans and fans of Patrick Mahomes to think that we're going to see them. I think it is, Joy, the 8th straight time that they host the AFC Championship game, or they're in the AFC Championship game. I don't think that'll be the case.
Wait, so they're going to win 12 games?
Yeah, I think they're 11-12.
How many games the Chargers winning?
Chargers might win 12-13, but it'll be a tiebreaker type situation. That's what I believe. Doesn't mean I'm
the
wrong.
Chargers are going to win the AFC?
I think they're going to win the AFC West. Not necessarily the AFC Conference, but the AFC West, which is a starter.
Okay.
You win your division, you get a home playoff game, and then we go from there.
All right. Paul, what are your expectations for the Chiefs?
My expectations is Super Bowl or bust. Listen to this. This team, you got to understand this. This team last year that I watched every week, I didn't go a week without watching Kansas City. They were carried by the defense. As great as Mahomes been in his career, he didn't have a good year for me. He wasn't in the Pro Bowl. He wasn't in MVP talks. Think about this. If If Burrow would have lost one game as a starter, MVP. He wasn't even in the MVP talks, losing only once. They were they like 10-0 before they took their first L, something like that? And we still wasn't talking about him for the MVP. It was all year Lamar, all year Josh Allen, because it was carried by the defense. Now, we fast forward, got beat down in the Super Bowl, motivation. That's what I hear in that speech. I heard that. I heard motivation. And Travis Kelce like, what? I lost 25 pounds? That sounds like motivation to me, too. This team is a motivated team that's coming to get what's theirs. All that falling off, because be careful. They know the road. They have a roadmap. They understand the moment in the playoffs, in the championship. No other team has the experience they have when it starts coming crunch time. Think about this. Best team in a one-score game, right? Still that, without even being great, Mahomes. So I have no doubt in my mind there's no way the Chargers win this division based on what I'm hearing coming out of camp and offseason and what they're doing. He even got a new haircut. That ain't the haircut I saw last year. His fade is tight now. That means something when you get that haircut, Joy. When you get that different haircut, you coming out there on that field or in the game, you mean business. So my expectations for the Chiefs bouncing back, I don't expect nothing less than a Super Bowl appearance.
You know what's crazy? The Chiefs went 15-1 when their starters played, and Patrick Mahomes is talking like they didn't even make the playoffs. They made the Super Bowl and lost to a great team. But when you hear him talk like that,
Right.
he knows the offense underperformed. He knows his side of the ball didn't hold up their end of the bargain. That's all that. The Chiefs won 11 games, one-score games, 8 points or less. 11 games. But they still won. To me, at the end of the day, you just got to win. They ran into an Eagles team that was great. They got blew out, got their doors blown off. And now it's, you look back on the season, they understand the offense was a liability. That was the liability. They didn't hold up their end. And so Patrick Mahomes, refreshed. Travis Kelce, refreshed. Rashee Rice will be coming back from injury. And so to me, it's the hunger. Because of the way the offense performed. 100%. I'm kind of with Key with this. I don't care how motivated you are. I don't care you saying the Chargers, anytime Jim Harbaugh coaches a team, they don't do very well. They do great in that second year. That second year for Jim Harbaugh, when he coaches a team, they do unbelievable. And so this season in this division is going to be tough, but can Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, can they fix that offensive line? Is Josh Simmons going to be the answer at left tackle? If he's the answer at left tackle, they'll be very good. If not, we're going to see more of the same.
Yeah, until the Chargers do it, I'm going to have to hold on my belief. I'm going to, I walk by sight, not by faith.
I understand.
And the Chargers have convinced me enough times that it's not a good idea. The Chiefs, however, have delivered every single time. And to
Hey,
your
what'd you
point,
say? You walk by who? I like that. Say that one more time.
I walk by sight, not by
Okay,
faith.
I'm writing that down.
Well, don't say it in church because you get scolded.
They're going to be young.
I'm flipping down and reversing
I'm going to come back to that later.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm chopping and screwing it on purpose. But the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. We're talking about the Chiefs like they got knocked in the wild card round.
Because they're not winning the division, that's a disrespect. Look, at the end, we don't even know if the Chargers will win it. For all we know, Denver can win the division.
I didn't say it was just. I didn't even get to disrespect yet.
But you said we act like.
Yeah.
So that's like disrespect.
I mean, he's talking about it. The way that we act like the season went for the Chiefs is like it was a disappointing season. They were in the Super Bowl.
I know, Joy, but
For them, that's disappointment.
But at
Losing,
some point, they done lost the Super Bowl a couple times.
yeah, that's a disappointment for Mahomes.
But at some point, it's going to come to an end for a short period of time. They can't just keep winning every year.
They've been winning every single year.
Yeah, and so were the New England Patriots. And then all of a sudden, there was a 10-year gap, okay, before Tom Brady got back to winning Super Bowls again. All I'm saying is there could be a short window there that closes for them on getting back to an AFC Championship game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. If they did, I'm not going to be surprised. I just think that the Chargers, along with Denver, could create some problems in the division.
I think the division is probably the hardest that it's been since Mahomes has been a starter?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
When you consider that everyone has a quarterback, when you consider that everyone has a coach, and this year, that division with those coaches, it might be the most accomplished division of coaches in NFL history.
Every single coach in the division has won a Super Bowl, except Harbaugh, right?
Except Harbaugh.
But he's
been to one.
But he's been there.
Yeah. So I think I'm with you on that. I think the division will be much harder than it's been. But the Chiefs are still a big dog.
Okay.
To me. They're getting Rasheed. Is that a big? That sounds like a medium dog. They're getting Rasheed Rice, Hollywood Brown, Sky Moore, and Isaiah Pacheco back as well. And to Paul's point, they considered last year to be a disappointment. So I think they're going to come in very locked in. And, while we're talking about Patrick Mahomes' haircut, Andy Reid is still there. Big Red's still there.
Yeah. Look, the defensive Spagnola's is there. Spagnola's still there. Andy's still there. Everything's intact.
Chris Jones is a key to that defense.
Chris Jones is still there. They bringing Juju back, Kareem Hunt back. Getting Trey Smith back. I think they got a team. I just think that it's somebody else's turn. Just give somebody else a little taste. That's all. That's all you need to do.
Shake it up a
After
little
that
bit.
performance by the Chargers in the playoffs,
Yeah.
I'm not confident in them.
I understand.
They got under the big lights, which now, if we're going to say they're going to be under the big lights, okay, what's the odd makers? The odd makers don't like them, so why should we?
But the odds makers, I'm not worried about them.
I'm just saying, I mean, I'm just not confident in a Chargers team. The disappointment that they showed me in that playoff game, Key, it was a meltdown.
In both of their playoff games.
It was a meltdown.
Only the Bengals have been able to get past the Chiefs to win the AFC over the past 6 seasons. That was Joe Burrow's Bengals, who lost to the Rams in Super Bowl 56. Other great AFC teams like Lamar Jackson's Ravens and Josh Allen's Bills haven't been further than the AFC Championship despite their quarterbacks earning combined 3 MVPs over that stretch. So, TJ, which quarterback has the best chance of winning their first Super Bowl this season? I bet I can guess who TJ
Joy,
would choose.
I asked you to repeat yourself because you said you walk by sight, not by faith.
I do.
And if I recall, if you walk by sight, there's only one guy that's actually been to the Super Bowl out of these 3. So I'm going to go with the guy that I know can get there, and that's Joe Burrow. He put a team on his back, and and the defense, if I'm not mistaken, when we went to the Super Bowl, was ranked 17th in the league in total defense. And so when I see somebody do something, I believe they can do it again. I have yet to see Lamar Jackson do it. I have yet to see Josh Allen do it. And so, as Joy Taylor said just about 5 minutes ago, I walk by sight, not by faith.
TJ likes that.
There we go.
Paul, who you got?
Best chance at winning their first Super Bowl? Man, I got to feel like the time is now for Josh Allen. I'm just saying, I think he's the Michael Jordan of football right now. The way he's carrying, he's the LeBron. He's carrying teams that shouldn't be going anywhere great distances. Nobody expected Buffalo to do what they did last year, and it was because of the heroics of Josh Allen. I see nothing changing this year when I look at the schedule. Pretty good schedule. A lot of teams they're going to beat. But I got to believe a motivated Josh Allen. He checked off that MVP off his list. He was like, all right, I've been in the running the last 3 or 4 years. Check. All right, we got off that. We went, we had an opportunity in the AFC title game. Just didn't make it. But look, I feel like he's going to be hungry. I feel like they're going to be motivated with some offseason additions they've added. I don't see why he can't be MVP again and lead Buffalo to their first Super Bowl. Listen, I love Lamar and I love Burrow, and this is not a good time to be a quarterback in this era when you have to play against these legends and you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's the gauntlet. It's like, wow, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to do something great between Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow to get through at least 1 or 2 of those guys to win. That's why I believe a team that comes out of the AFC this year will win the Super Bowl, regardless of Philly and regardless what's on that side. I truly believe that, and I think it'll be Josh Allen this year?
You know, Josh Allen could. Maybe he's close to it. And close, usually when teams are knocking on the door, eventually the door opens for him, like the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson are literally getting better every year in terms of advancing to the second round, the AFC Championship game. You know, the goalpost continues to move on them, right? Oh, he can't win a playoff game, he wins one. Oh, he can't do this, he can't get it. He gets them to the AFC Championship game. When you look at this football team and you look at the additions of Jair Alexander, you look at the additions of DeAndre Hopkins, two veteran players that know how to play. They needed help at the cornerback position. They got it. They need a veteran receiver to help them out. They got that. Now when you talk about Lamar Jackson and things that he's capable of doing, here's the problem for them that it scares me to a degree, but then at the same time, if they pass the test, then I'm like, okay, before the bye week, they play 6 games. Their first 5 games are playoff contenders. 2 of those is the Buffalo Bills on opening night, on the road, and then 3 weeks later, I believe it is, they go to Kansas City. If they can pass that 5 of 6 week test, Cleveland is in there somewhere, but who cares about the Cleveland Browns right now? But if they can get past, Buffalo or Detroit, or Kansas City, a Texas team, a Rams team before the bye.
That's a tough schedule.
It's a gauntlet.
Oh.
So now all of a sudden they get past that gauntlet. You're gonna breathe a certain way. You're gonna feel good about your position that you in moving forward. So and their bye comes right, I believe, at right about the right time.
It's right after the Rams.
Yeah, so it comes right at the right time.
What would you hope their record to be after those 6? Because that's a tough 6 games.
If they can go 5-1, they cool.
They ain't doing that. That's tough.
But going into Buffalo will be something. Going into Kansas City will be something. If they can get that out the way, because I don't really believe in Detroit right now. Detroit lost too much staff-wise for me. You know, when you lose a staff like that.
And the Ravens, they normally dominate the NFC. They normally dominate NFC teams. The Ravens, to me, have one of the top rosters in the league. The Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles have 2 of the best rosters in the league. I can't even argue about. The Ravens have 3 starting corners.
But think about this though: if they get through that gauntlet, let's just say
they get through that
4-2.
That's great.
They win at 4-2.
That's a great 6
They
games.
got the Chicagos, the Miamis, the Minnesotas. We don't know about the quarterback. They got Cleveland. They got the Jets, Cincinnati, division rival that they always seem to take care of. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay, Pittsburgh again. The second half of their schedule is a win-win if I'm a Baltimore Raven.
I have Lamar as well. I could be talked into Josh Allen. The only thing about Burrow that makes me nervous is I see...
You're not walking by sight on this one.
I see the defense is not quite what it was
I agree.
The year that they went to the Super Bowl. Now, while I feel like the offense was the key to that, they did have a much better defensive side of the ball. Trey Hendrickson is still working out. So I'm not sure by what I see from the rest of the team, from the other half, the other side of the ball, what the Bengals are going to do. If they can shore that up, I think that, of course, he has done it. It's a tough time, and we have these like pockets of eras in the NFL where you have just a gauntlet of quarterback talent, of coaching talent. We went through the top 10 coaches a few weeks ago. I mean, you can go almost 20 deep with really solid coaches in the NFL right now. So it is just tough. And
I wasn't here for that one.
Were you? Yeah.
I wasn't here. 20 coaches? No, I definitely wasn't here.
Yeah, that's true.
20 coaches in the National Football League at the top?
You don't believe that then, huh?
Oh, my God, no.
There's a lot of good coaches in the NFL right now.
Give me one.
What?
Give me one. Just give me one.
Mike Tomlin.
Okay, so that's one. Give me 2.
You're not going to make me list all 30.
No, I don't want you to give me 30. I just want you to
He wants about 5. He wants about 5.
Joy. Just give me 5.
Sean McVay.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan. Okay. Andy Reid. This is not an order. I'm just naming good coaches. Mike Tomlin. Okay. Sean Payton.
Okay, now that's pretty much
5.
It. That's pretty much it.
No.
What do you mean?
What about the Super Bowl
Jim
winning
Harbaugh,
coach?
Matt LaFleur.
What about
Pete Carroll?
Pete just got back in it.
Y'all ain't even say nothing about the
Aaron Glenn.
The Super Bowl winning coach.
Young.
Nick Sirianni.
Okay, Sirianni.
Sean McDermott. I'm at 11 now.
I'm not big on McDermott as much as everybody else is. I've seen too many in-game decisions cost him. But go ahead. We'll have a.
You're not making me list. We'll print it out. I'm right. You're about 18.
No, you're not right. But we're gonna let you be right.
I am. Anyway, It's
about 8 coaches. The rest of them.
There are more than 8 good
about
coaches.
8 good coaches in the league. The rest of them dudes is cap artists. But I'm going to leave that alone.
You're crazy.
They
No.
tap water?
Man, you know I know. You know, too. They cap you out. The genius in Miami. He was such a genius for a long time. And all of a sudden, he's going to be, hey, how you doing there, Mike? But anyway, go ahead.
The Ravens will be competing with Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers, for the AFC North title. Pittsburgh also added DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith this offseason to bolster an offense that Steeler legend and our friend Terry Bradshaw said failed Kenny Pickett. Bradshaw echoed a sentiment that Keyshawn often mentions. Young quarterbacks need talent to be successful. Now, Aaron is not a young quarterback, but have the Steelers done enough to build around him this season, Paul?
Man, listen. Yeah, they got DK, lost Pickett, and you know, picked up some instrumental pieces. But when I look at it, I'm not so sure if they've done enough because I felt like he had more talent with the Jets. When you look at it, I mean, Hall, Wilson, Devontae, does Pittsburgh have anything that resembles anything to that?
No.
Man, okay. No, right?
Not on offense.
Well, he plays offense. He's the quarterback. But to his defense, this will be a defensive-led team also, to where he's not going to have to win games for him. He's just going to have to keep it close, don't turn the ball over, lean on the defense, lean on the play calling, and that's it. Now, I do believe they will make the playoffs. I do believe they will challenge the Ravens. When you get to this certain age, we look at Rodgers as a name, and we think it's still the Rodgers from Green Bay. So this is the way I look at it. They haven't done enough because the older you get, the more you need. The older I get, I need a cane. Then I need a wheelchair. Then next thing you know, that's it.
You reverse the order on that.
You know what I'm saying? The more older you get, the more you need. So I don't think they have enough. I mean, it would have been different. They say, hey, we kept DK and Pickett. You know what I'm saying? Pickens. I'd have been like, oh, okay. That would have been something. But, like, I'm putting all my trust in the coaching situation here with the Steelers because definitely Jets coaching situation and the turmoil they had, that led to their demise. This is more stable. This is a better culture. And I believe they have enough to get to the playoffs, but he needs more around them because he's a lot older.
Are you talking about, Joy, more around him on the offense side of the ball or just the team in general?
I'm assuming that Terry was talking about the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, but I think they have. And what they got to really understand is when you go out and you get a dude like a DK Metcalf and you get a Robert Woods coming over from Houston, that's telling me right then and there that there's going to be some similarity of the West Coast offense because you got 2 different type wide receivers here. You got a big and you got an itty-bitty in Robert Woods that can pick him up and put him down inside the slot where you got a big dude, a DK Metcalf on the outside, that can lift the coverage. And then you talk about Warren at the running back position. You bring him back. You let Najee Harris go. You're on the defensive side. You pick up a Darius Slay. You trade for a Jalen Ramsey. So now you know, and you bring in, you give Deshaun Elliott. You still have him in the mix. So that tells me right there that you still going to be a defensive-oriented team with a West Coast-style offense and Jonnu Smith coming over in that trade to help out the tight end situation. I think it's more than enough to help them out because it's a defensive-oriented team. They're not going to try to push the ball down the field all the time. Their passing game is going to eventually become a substitute for their running game because that's what Aaron Rodgers can do best. So I think they've done more than enough for them to be successful.
They've done all that they could to put a collection of talent around them. I would prefer to have George Pickens still be a part of this team,
right.
And then I would say, yeah, they've done enough. I just don't feel like DK is pretty much your only threat on offense that teams are going to be, that they're going to game plan for. DK is the only guy on the offense side of the ball that they're going to game plan for. And so I'm not sure that that's enough. Now, going from the Jets to the Steelers, organizationally, that's going to be an upgrade. And we're going to say, oh, the Jets were a better offense. Oh, defensively, very similar. Pittsburgh Steelers organization, New York Jets, that to me is going to be the upgrade. Mike Tomlin and his coaching is going to be the upgrade, but the talent around him, Offensively, the Steelers, they've struggled. They've been the reason the Steelers haven't gone as far as they wanted to go. And so I'm not sure that this is enough. DK, Aaron Rodgers, like Jonnu Smith, like people made a big deal about that. He's a good player. But Jonnu Smith's had one good year in 8 seasons.
Yeah, but come on, though, TJ. Jonnu Smith was with a quarterback in Miami at times that allowed him to flourish and do and show his talents. He was stuck in New England after leaving Tennessee. Then he went to Atlanta. Come on now.
When you say give me the best tight ends, the way y'all just talked about them coaches, you're going to name 8, 9, 10, 11,
Yes,
12, 13 before you get to him.
Based on where his last several years have been, 1,000%.
He's coming off of a career year.
But he's coming off a career year. That's a plus, not a minus.
No, I don't believe it's a minus. I'm saying nobody's going to game plan for him. You game plan for DK Metcalf.
I don't know if they're going to game plan for him or not.
And I just don't. That's not enough. You playing Lamar Jackson twice a year. You gotta put up points, or you putting so much pressure on your defense to hold everybody you play under 20.
For the last,
that's tough.
How long Mike Tomlin been there? 21 years.
21.
For the last, let's call it for the last 20+ years. Just what you said, putting the pressure on defense. That's what Pittsburgh does.
Now,
their offense has some good years with Bell and Brown and Big Ben, but that defense, they ain't going nowhere. That's what they built.
This will be
19, right?
19th year.
They better get TJ Watt signed. They better get TJ Watt signed.
They've been playing the same way for 19 years and had a ton of success.
Darnell, can we order one of those mini violins from TikTok? I need to add it to my collection of props. I'm like a prop comedian up here. I don't understand. Is Aaron Rodgers still good or not?
Good for what?
That's what I'm saying.
Good for what? More. What do you want him to do, Joy? What are you asking him to do?
Okay, so the Steelers were a playoff team last year.
They'll be a playoff team again this year.
I don't believe so, but they were a playoff team last year. They're going to eventually get the deal done with TJ Watt, we are assuming, right? So they have a great defense. They always have a great defense. They've added DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, Kenneth Gainwell, Jonnu Smith, a bunch of stuff to the defense to make the defense even better. I'm just saying, when is it actually Aaron's responsibility to, do something? Because, last year, they won 5 games with all the talent. I get it was the Jets, bad situation that he created, but bad situation.
He's not in control of that right now, no, Joy.
Who?
He's not.
In control of what?
Creating a bad situation like he was with the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that yet. We'll see. Okay, but my point is, they've done a lot. They've brought in a lot of pieces. Yeah. There's not, a wide receiver store, okay? So they did what they did. DK is a nice addition. He's a really, really good player. Jonnu Smith is coming off of a career year. They already have other tight ends there. It's already a crowded room, so they can have the options to run different sets. They want to throw the ball more than they're running it anyway. I mean, they've done enough.
I think they've done enough.
Or we can stop talking about the Steelers as a real contender, which I am not doing.
Let's just wait to see what it looks like when the season starts.
Okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
I think they're a playoff team with me and you sharing quarterback duties.
No. Justin Fields, we about to talk about Justin Fields.
They went to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. Stop.
All right. Coming up, Jalen Brunson led the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it wasn't enough to save his coach. We'll tell you if New York is better off with new head coach Mike Brown. That's next on Speak. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. Tyrese Haliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but Pacers president Kevin Pritchard talked about how Haliburton doesn't regret it. Speak up, Kevin.
He's told me many times, this just shows you what kind of kid he is. I would do it over and over. And if you're asking me, would I have him do it over and over? I would not. I would not. If I knew that he was going to get hurt, I would sacrifice that game because I care for the kid so much.
Paul, Haliburton said he would play in that game over and over. Do you agree with his mindset?
100, 1,000%, as Key might say, it's the game. Listen, this is everything for the marbles. One game to go. If you told me, listen, if you play in this game, you may never play another NBA game again, I still would have did it. I still would have did it. If you say, I'll never play another game in the NBA again, if I play in this one game, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, I would have still played in that game because it would have meant that much, because winning a championship or getting to a finals or getting in this situation may never happen again. Mm-hmm. And so it's no regret, and I hope he doesn't have any regret. And I know the type of person, just hearing from his interviews, he just sounds like he doesn't have regret. Anybody with any sense of, like, pride or competitive drive would have played in that game no matter what. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate that this did happen. But like I said, if I just knew for the game of my life and the Game 7 in the NBA championship moment, even if somebody said, hey, Paul, you're going to tear your Achilles tonight if you play in this game, but I got a chance to win the championship, it's a no-brainer for me. I still would have did it.
I think the sentiment across the board from all athletes is going to be, why are we even having this conversation? Of course I'm playing in the game. You know, like Paul said, if it was the career and all that and this, that, and other, I got my guaranteed money, so I'm okay over there. Yes.
Right.
I'm playing.
The guaranteed money, not just the money. Right?
Yeah, you got whatever his contract is, $200-something million, whatever it is, but all jokes aside, of course you play. You go out there and you play in game.
What if
7.
you didn't have your guaranteed money?
You still go out there and you play, because that's what we do. That's what we do. And in football, famously, Ronnie Lott cut off his finger to play in the Super Bowl. Just to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that.
So think about that. We'll do what it takes to get to the ultimate prize. You know, that's just, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll worry about rehabbing later on. We'll worry about what ifs, all that later on. At the end of the day, we want to win a championship. We want to be in that, you know, that velvet rope. We want to get past that. That's what we play the game for. Guys that don't have rings, that play, they get teased a lot. And it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good, right? So I didn't mean that.
Hey, you and Paul got one. That's how you gonna do it.
I didn't mean to do you like that, but
It didn't land there.
Yeah,
no, I didn't mean. I forgot. I forgot you wasn't in Seattle.
No, but I'm telling you,
Yeah, right.
like, I missed a Super Bowl by 2 seasons. One with Seattle and one with the Ravens also.
But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking Seattle, and I'm like, as I'm talking, I'm like,
nah, it was
he wasn't in
next
Seattle.
year. Yeah.
It was the next year. Yeah. but in all honesty, though, that's the truth, though.
Yeah. Would you have played in?
Any athlete, like, your whole life is for that moment, and the moment is a championship. How many times you've been at the park, or you've been a 5, 4, 3, 2, you're down 1 point, you make the shot to win the championship, or you catch this touchdown. You just do that as a kid, just messing around. And so to be an adult and have those aspirations that you dreamed of as a kid, you have to go for it. The unfortunate part is he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
But if he doesn't get hurt, we may have a new NBA championship the way he was playing in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. And so everybody that plays sports, they going to give it a go. You don't want to get hurt, but you giving it a go.
But getting hurt is also, that's a part of the game. Like, I know Paul says he didn't have any major injuries. Like, my brother, most of his injuries, he was able to rehab during the off season. But, like, you're going to hurt something.
You play long enough.
You had major injuries?
I mean, if you broke ankle, I mean, I didn't.
Major.
I didn't miss no time. Though it was at the end of the season.
Yeah, I didn't have any either.
Yeah, but you had some injury that you had to play through at some point.
Yeah.
You're playing hurt all the time, so that's a given anyway. So the risk of getting hurt, you're doing that every time. Every time you step into the facility, you're risking getting hurt. Every time you practice, you're risking getting hurt. So of course you're going to play in the game. But you all had teammates though that you would say were not. You know, everybody doesn't play for the same reasons.
If they're a starter on a team, though, and they're one of your better players, they playing. They play. I mean, because he talked about how Ronnie Lott, T.O. broke his leg, broke his ankle, and he went out and played, was it 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, in a Super Bowl. Anybody that's a starter that you count on, they playing.
Yeah, they don't want to leave. You don't want to leave your teammates out there, hang them out to dry. You just don't. You know what I'm saying?
But I just think also it's just so hard to get to that moment. You may never get back.
Pacers may never get back.
Yeah.
He may never play in another NBA final in his career.
Well, the way things are going in the NBA, it's very likely. We've had different champions for the last 7 years in a row.
But I mean, he may never even get back to that position in the East or whatever to even be able to play in a game one, let alone a 7.
Yeah.
See, I can live with the pain of the injury than that pain of regret from not playing. I'm thinking about like, dang, if I don't play and we lose, I'm be like, damn, I'm gonna be thinking my whole career.
Chances are,
what if I would have played?
Though, if you don't play, you're going to lose. If you don't play,
right.
No matter how much KG and Ray and Rondo and Doc, if you don't play though, they need you.
For sure.
In the worst way.
Like they need Haliburton in the worst way.
In the worst way.
In the worst way.
All Hall of Famers I'm speaking of, but they got to have the other Hall of Famer out there to be able to close the deal. You see what I'm saying? Because we had, we was right there. We just
couldn't live with myself.
So we're also just only having this conversation because he did get hurt. And we know he was, dealing with this injury, a calf injury throughout the playoffs. But that's what it is. You have to play.
Yeah, that's what comes with this.
Yeah. Well, heading over to New York, Mike Brown was introduced as the Knicks' latest head coach today. The Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals this past season, and the expectations will be for Mike Brown to get them even further. And Brown said he also has those high expectations. Let's take a listen.
Our goal, starting with Mr. Dolan, to Leon, to the players, all the way down to the fans, is to build a sustainable winning culture that produces championships. That's why I'm here. I'm fortunate to know what it takes to create that success.
Paul, is Mike Brown an improvement for the Knicks?
I like to think so. Tim did a remarkable job, of course, creating the culture, winning, getting them to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's one thing, Mike, just like Tibbs, Mike Brown brings a championship pedigree. As an assistant, he's a 4-time champion, just like Tibbs was. He was a champion on my Boston Celtics team as a top assistant. And this guy, Mike, he's 2-time coach of the year. And like I've said in the past, he's great with the media. He's going to be able to handle the pressure on the sidelines. He's a player's coach, not a coach's coach for the most part. And the only thing is that I don't like about the Knicks' job is just the stability. How many years does he get? Mm-hmm. Because if they don't get to the NBA Finals, I think this is a 3-year window for him because that's pretty much
what Tibbs did.
Tibbs was there 5 years. He was coaching there longer pretty much than anybody.
And they weren't very good when he got there.
So I'm just thinking the window for Mike is probably 3 years. If he makes it to 5, that means they would have won a championship or have gotten to the finals. Because when you look at all the head coaches, and I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, since the year 2000 till today, I think they had about, I think about 15 head coaches. Think about that. 15
It's a lot.
Coaches in 25 years. It's a lot of coaches out there. It's like
the Raiders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I like the fact that you got somebody with experience, you got somebody who's respected, you got somebody who's won, and somebody who's been in great cultures, such as Golden State, such as the system he created in Sacramento, turning that organization around. Because you see where it is now since he's left. So I like the hire. I like what he's going to be able to do for Brunson. I think they need to change the system, and I think he was going to be able to implement a system that benefits the talent around him because it just seemed like a Brunson-ran offense to where, there's a lot of pick and rolls and, they have a lot of talent on the Knicks. And I truly believe he'll put in an offense that'll implement. And right now is the window. The truth is, the window is now, because think about it, the East, this is a 2-team race. Maybe 3. I'm throwing Orlando in there because I like their young core. But the Knicks, this is the window of opportunity. If they don't get it done, actually, if they don't get it done this year coming up, I truly believe that window is going to close because Boston is going to be better the year after. I don't know what's going on in Philly, though. That's an interesting one because they got some good young players. Embiid's coming back. Paul George could come back better. That's the wild card in the East. But they got to get it done now or never. But I love what Mike Brown is bringing to the table. It's definitely an improvement for the New York Knicks.
They've had 14 coaches, including interim coaches, since 2000.
See? I told you around there.
The Raiders.
14 coaches in 25 years.
Yeah, I like it for him, though. It's a good situation. I know the pressure's on him because of what the Knicks were able to do a year ago, but like Paul said, that window's there. Top guy in Boston, down. Top guy in Indy, down. Top guys in Philly, been down. You start to look at Milwaukee, down. So you start looking at that. You start eliminating those top 4 or 5 teams in that conference immediately. Now it comes down to maybe Cleveland and Orlando, and maybe there's somebody else that I'm not thinking about that's standing around that could give some trouble. He's a player-friendly coach, okay, so that's a plus. Now, when you start talking about the same type of guy, though, defensive-minded coaches, Tibbs, going to run you in the ground, right? Run you in the ground. Tibbs, 32.7 per game in minutes of his players. Mike Brown, 31.9.
So the starters.
I mean, that's the same to the starters. That's the same. One was number 3 in the league. One was number 4 in the league in terms of running their players in the ground. Now, if the system changes from Brunson to whatever they're doing, it doesn't really matter because he still believes in keeping his main guys on the floor. That, to me, is the biggest problem that the Knicks had. Those guys' tongues was literally on the floor in some of those games to the point where, they're exhausted. You can look at them and you can tell. So maybe being an outsider like Mike Brown, because he's a good basketball coach, he didn't get a lot of credit in Cleveland because no one gets the credit when LeBron James is on your team. It's just not going to happen. But you saw what he was able to do in Sacramento. The Lakers are a tough job no matter who you are. Phil Jackson was able to do what he did because he won championships. If Phil wasn't winning championships, they'd have ran Phil ass out of here too. So you have to think about that situation in New York. But I think he's a good coach, and he should be okay there. He should.
It's an upgrade. And if you look at just Mike Brown's journey, he was under Popovich, and that's where he got his defensive identity. And then he evolved when he went under Steve Kerr. And offensively, he's kind of changed what he wanted to do, what he learned from Popovich. And so when he went to Sacramento, they were getting up and down the court. Sacramento, they didn't have the depth that the Knicks are going to have. So I believe he's not going to play his starters heavy minutes. The offense will be different. He's going to get up and down the court because coaching with Steve Kerr, he saw a different viewpoint, a different way of, we can play NBA basketball this way, getting up and down the court. Now, is Brunson, Cat, and those guys going to want to play that way because they've been playing a slower tempo game? They're going to have to adjust the way they play. But I believe 100% he has to win. You fire a coach that gave you your best season in 25 years, this got to be championship or bust. There's no other choice. When you fire Tibbs, and this was the best season that you had in 25 years, Mike Brown has no choice. And it's what Paul said. It's there for the taking. I actually think the Hawks are going to be better also. With the additions that the Hawks have added this year, the Hawks are going to be a better basketball team this year.
I mean, he's more than qualified for the job, and I think he'll do a nice job with the media. And he's a little more of a player's coach than a coach. But Tibbs did a lot in New York.
He sure did.
Like, he did a really nice job in New York. He got them to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. He had a lot of success there.
He didn't deserve to be fired.
He didn't deserve to be fired, but he's fired now.
Yeah.
And Mike Brown is there. And what worries me is that he doesn't have any wiggle room. Where can you go? Like, they have to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
You better.
You got at least.
I don't think they have to go back. We're saying they have to go back.
They just fired Tibbs.
But it is unrealistic, though, Paul. It's unrealistic to think just because somebody else went that a new coach is getting ready to bring you in and take you and put you over the top.
We're talking about the New York Knicks.
I understand.
Realistic is not in the conversation.
Yeah, but they got, you mean New York, not necessarily even the Knicks, just New York.
With this owner, with the history that they have, the expectations that they have, and now the expectations have actually been set because they went to the finals.
But you can't expect for a guy to come in that's going to run his own system, do it his way, to all of a sudden it's going to be either better or the same. You just can't expect that.
I can tell you the hell they do.
Well, that's shame on them.
Why else would you fire him?
It's shame on them.
I mean, Steve Kerr did it with Golden State, came right in.
Yeah, but Golden State, but Paul, Golden State didn't go to the Western Conference Final that year.
The year before.
They were on their way.
They was well on their way.
You know, they were on their way.
Yeah, just like the Knicks is on their way. They knocking at the door. The same thing.
Now it's a reboot.
Yeah. Same thing.
They do not see it as a reboot.
No, he gonna get the first year because you're not gonna fire a coach after the first year.
Well,
but if they don't make it to at least the conference after the first year, after you fire the coach, hire the coach.
Think what Phoenix been doing.
I would not even be remotely surprised if the Knicks did that. I would not even be remotely surprised. Because that's what the Knicks do. Now, I'm not saying he would deserve it at all. I think you should give coaches way more runway than they do, but that's the only thing that concerns me about this job. Coming up, Jalen Hurts just won Super Bowl MVP, but yesterday, TJ said Jalen wouldn't be in his top 5 quarterbacks.
Y'all about to see.
He has a full top 10 list for us today. Stick around for that next on Speak.
Y'all about to see this.
Welcome back to Speak. Yesterday, TJ got everyone a little riled up by saying that Jalen Hurts wouldn't be one of his top 5 quarterbacks. So now he's going to give us his top 10 list of best quarterbacks in the league. Take it away, TJ.
Well, yesterday, guess it was a little fuss because I didn't have Jalen Hurts in my top 5, so y'all really going to be mad at me. But let me say this. There's really 13 or 14 guys I could have put in my top 10, but I only have 10 spots. And so with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, y'all may or may not like this list, but this is my list, so I don't care. And I'm going to get to the honorable mentions. No. There's honorable mentions. Okay. I'm going to get to those at the end. I'll get to those at the end.
All right.
But at number 10, we got Jordan Love.
All right.
And let me preface this before. I've been on the field with a lot of these guys multiple times, and he's one of them. Led the Packers to the playoffs in his first 2 seasons as a starter. Jordan Love is super athletic, one of the best throwers of the football, and Key will know. And he can attest to this. No, I'm going to bring you in this. All these receivers, Key would have wanted to have as his quarterback over the quarterbacks that he had. At number 9, it's my dog. He would be higher if not for last year. Coordinator got fired. Coordinator ain't really know what he was doing. Slowed him down. C.J. Stroud. What? And look, hold up. Let me say that. I know I had him at number 5 yesterday, but I didn't want to pick the same player as Paul, so I put him. When you see my number 5, then you're going to understand. I just didn't want to have the same guy that Paul had at number 5. Number 8, Justin Herbert. That's Keyshawn guy, I believe. We're going to have him at number 8. Just a natural thrower of the football. Big, strong arm. He gonna change some people's opinions this year. At least I believe he will. At number 7, we got Keyshawn's favorite guy, Jalen Hurts. And I know this gonna piss some people off, include Mr. Keyshawn Johnson. But I don't care that he's won a Super Bowl. Is he a really good quarterback? Yes, he is. But when your own receiver is sitting on the sideline reading the book to calm himself down, that tells me all I need to know. At number 6, this guy may be the best pure thrower of the football in the game. Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion just 3 years ago. Matthew Stafford can spin the ball like no other. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he still is. Now, this morning on the field, I chose JD 5. That's what they call him, 5. And he is at number 5. Jaden Daniels had a remarkable rookie season. Nobody thought the Washington Commanders would do anything. Nobody thought they'd make the playoffs. Nobody thought he would play the way that he played. Jaden Daniels is number 5, and The top 4, you can mix it. Well, let me just say this. The next 3 guys, you can mix and match however you want. There's no wrong list when it comes to these guys. But I'm going with the reigning MVP, Josh Allen at number 4. Doesn't have a lot of collection of talent on the offensive side of the ball. Number 3, 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. Y'all probably thought I was going to put Joe Burrow number 1. I know y'all thought I was going to be a homer, but I'm going to put Joe Burrow at number 2. He led the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards last season. We just need our defense to step up, and maybe he can move up. But at number 1, it would be disrespectful if I put anybody number 1 other than Mr. Patrick Mahomes. He's played in 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls, last 7 AFC Championship games. So Patty Mahomes is number 1. Now, let me tell y'all this. Honorable mention, guys that almost made the list, but they didn't. Jared Goff, sorry, should have made the list, wasn't enough space. Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, and Dak Prescott. You guys are my honorable mentions, but I only had 10 spots. Now, let's see if they're going to come up here and fry me, y'all. What you like? Oh, they really coming up. Oh, they throwing shots. Oh, I got a duck and dodge. Oh.
Man, come on, TJ.
Really?
TJ, come on, man.
Really?
Stop it. Stop it, TJ. Stop. Just yesterday, just yesterday, and I understand your cap, you had number 9 way up in the top 5.
But I told you why. I told you why.
Don't work like that,
I didn't want to have the same guy's balls, so I had to switch it up.
You done got hit in your ribs a couple times, so you're going to have him at number 9.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All that's fine and dandy. I understand you got to do this because of Cincinnati.
No, I don't.
I understand that.
I don't. No.
Understand that. 2 MVPs. 2 MVPs.
Okay. Keyshawn.
AFC Championship game.
Keyshawn.
MVP again.
Keyshawn 20 years ago. Take number 1 out. Who you want as your quarterback? Just answer that.
I'll take any of them.
Between 2 and 3, who you want as your quarterback?
I'll take any of them.
That's not true.
I don't want to get into the statistics, though, TJ. Then on top of this, I go down to the bottom. It's cool. You ain't got Dak Prescott nowhere in here. You got to figure this one out.
I'm going to be honest.
I love Jaden Daniels more than anybody. More than I knew about him when he was about 60 pounds playing Pop Warner.
Yeah.
Okay? Told him he was better than Caleb Williams. All right? Took his team to the NFC Championship game. But not right now.
No.
Not right now.
Who are you taking off this list to put Dak Prescott in? Let's be honest. Who are you taking out?
I'm going to give you the correct list?
I'm going to take both of them out. All of them.
Okay, so the correct list is Mahomes. So
that's easy.
Start off with the right one. Jalen is 2. He
1,000%.
Beat Mahomes.
1,000%.
Came off of a
crazy?
Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP.
Are you crazy?
So he's at 2. He's been in the playoffs every year as a starter. 2
Super Bowl appearances.
2 Super Bowl appearances.
Playoffs every year.
So I'm on the field with 10
and
NFL.
Played well in both.
I'm on the field with 10 NFL receivers tomorrow, and I'm gonna ask all 10 of them. Is Jalen hurt? I can't say the name. I can't say the name.
Don't matter, though.
It's the only job of a quarterback to throw the ball. No. Jalen Hurts is that 2. No, it's not.
Throw it to us.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's your favorite job the quarterback does, but it is not the only thing they do.
I can't believe the slander on Jalen.
He's that 2.
You, Michael Irvin.
Being number 7 isn't bad.
You
and Michael Irvin, y'all did this.
3 is Josh Allen. He's just coming off of an MVP season, AFC Championship game. 4 is Lamar. Okay. 5 is Burrow.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll
5
take
is
that.
Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Stafford.
Yeah, you can put that in there.
One play away from the NFC Championship game last year and a Super Bowl champion.
Yep, one play.
7 is Jared Goff.
He was honorable mention. Honorable mention.
I'm okay with Goff. I'm okay with Goff. I'm okay with Goff.
Goff is at 7. Then Dak has to be in the top 10.
1,000%.
Who are you taking out?
Okay, so let me ask you this, TJ. Any of these dudes finish number 2 in voting other than Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversations? Any of these dudes? All these CJs and Herberts and my guy Jaden, any of them? Joe Burrow ain't never.
I'm going off of when I watch.
Never.
I'm going.
He don't have the
when
M to
I
V
watch
or
the game.
With your eyes and not by faith.
I'm walking by sight.
Dak has had amazing.
Hey, that has been
Dak The playoffs has been the problem, but you got Justin Herbert on there, so he got to go.
That is the saying of the day. Sight, not faith. That is the saying.
You don't understand C.J. Stroud has lost in the playoffs twice.
But he's been in the playoffs both years he's been in the league.
But he's lost twice.
Dak is at 8.
Okay, I like it.
Purdy is at 9.
I like it. Ooh.
No.
Purdy's at 9.
Yeah, dude, been the NFC Championship games
and Super Bowl.
And the Super Bowl.
Super teams.
I can't.
Purdy's at 9.
Every Super Bowl is a super team.
And when they don't have a super team, then what?
Let me ask you this, then.
You lose 6 or 7 games of playoff teams last year that Purdy did, right?
We getting ready to get out of this and go into barbershop talk right now.
All right.
What NBA teams don't have star players that win NBA titles? They all do. I can only think of one, and that was Toronto, and they still had all-stars. They had a superstar in Kawhi, and then they had my man that's now in Indy, Siakam. That's really it. And then they have Van Fleet. That's it.
If I'm a receiver, I want these guys as my quarterbacks over anybody else.
And then since you want to soften it with the honorable mentions, Love is at 11. So we're almost the same on that. Love is at 11. Baker, Herbert, and then C.J. Stroud.
I'm just saying, I'm basing mine if I'm a receiver, who I want at my quarterback.
Thank you.
But that's not the only thing that quarterbacks do.
That's what I'm
talking about.
But I could get any. Hold on.
This wouldn't be my list.
But wait, though.
I wouldn't even have Patrick Mahomes number 1.
But that's just a respect thing for what he's accomplished.
Let me break it down this way, then. Out of me and you, you've had better quarterbacks in your career than me.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Not even close.
And you taking them over all your quarterbacks.
I still put up crazy numbers with 17, 18 different quarterbacks. So I don't need a quarterback to just throw me the football.
Yes,
I need to be able to win.
Yes, you do.
No.
Because then you would have had even crazier numbers.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that part, though. I'm talking about winning. These are winnings.
So you put up crazy numbers.
Put me on any of these teams and I'm happy.
What is he always concerned with? The guaranteed money.
I'm going to get that anyway, though.
You would have had more.
Yeah, I'm going to get that anyway.
You would have had more.
But the thing is, that's not all quarterbacks do.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Because if you're throwing me the ball, I'm catching the ball, we win, and we scoring touchdowns.
What about running the ball? What about running the offense?
We're going to run the ball in the fourth quarter when we get the lead.
What about being in control of the game so you're not, what about not turning the ball over? Like, there's so much else that quarterbacks do.
Right now, Josh is the best quarterback in the NFL. Right now, today.
He was MVP.
He's the best quarterback.
Any of the top 2 through 4, you can mix and match. You can mix and match. Number 1 is a respect thing.
I'm gonna have a
that's a
sweet
respect.
treat.
Okay, I gotta get away from you with the respect thing.
It's a respect thing.
I deserve my Reese's cup now.
Crazy?
Coming
So
up.
you putting somebody over Mahomes?
We just got to respect KD in a Rockets jersey. Right. He's rocking number 7, and we'll tell you how we think KD looks.
Here, man, one last.
Hey, I'm taking shots everywhere.
Oh, God.
I can't believe it.
Time to check in on our social life. After the Kevin Durant trade became official, the Rockets posted this video announcing KD will be rocking number 7 this season in Houston. Paul, you like the new look from Durant?
Yeah, not a bad look. Number 7. You know, I think we're not going to remember he's a Rocket unless they win one. It's like, you know, but I like him on the Rockets. I think they got a great chance to win it all. Little disappointed. I wonder why he didn't go to 35. I wonder why though. Is it taken? Is it retired in Houston?
No, 7 was his
That's what he wore.
Team USA number.
Okay.
And he wore it in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And his AAU coach, I think, was murdered at 35 or something like that. That's why he chose 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, it looked cool though. It looked different because I'm so used to seeing him. Even in Brooklyn, I didn't remember him wearing 7 in Brooklyn. It just looked different, but it is what it is.
Brooklyn
I mean,
was a
nobody remember
stop.
anything about Brooklyn.
No, I remember it. I remember it.
1 year, right? Brooklyn.
It was like a quick stop, same as you, huh? Quick stop.
Oh yeah, I had a quick stop.
You gradually just got thrown in it real quick.
Yeah, I had a quick stop in Brooklyn too.
Listen, this energy you giving TJ and Paul today, you keep that over there.
I ain't messing with you.
He just firing real quick shots real quick.
No, Paul, no, he was in Brooklyn. He was cool.
It was quick
He was
stop.
cool in Washington. He was a guy in the Clippers uniform.
You ain't lying. I know I wasn't a guy. I was a coach.
stole their money and just...
No, I was player coach. It was called player coach.
He contributed in practice.
$4 million practice player.
right, exactly.
Rockets GM told reporters they traded for KD because he is still very efficient and they haven't seen a drop-off in play,
Right.
despite being 36. So, Paul, will the Rockets get elite play from KD?
Yeah, absolutely. If we're talking about elite players being back in the All-Star game as an All-Star starter, a guy who's probably going to average somewhere between 23 and 25 points a game, I believe, absolutely we're going to get elite play. And this is just what the doctor ordered because they have elite athletes in Jabari Parker Jr., you have Amin Thompson, and then you have a young all-star in Sengun to go with Van Vliet at your point guard. Man, this is going to be a tough team come next year. And this is what the doctor ordered. You have a great coach in Ime. And so I really see this team striving, and I wouldn't be shocked. As a matter of fact, I may go to Vegas this weekend and put an early bet that the Rockets will make the conference finals. I mean, that's how good they look on paper, because I know OKC is going to be there barring any injuries, but then after OKC, there's still a lot of questions. Everybody's kind of like bunched up together. You got the Nuggets, you got Minnesota, and adding KD to any team that already has talent. We've seen what happened the last time he was on a team that had talent on it. They went on to win back-to-back championships. Now, I'm not saying this is the same level as Golden State because Houston hasn't won anything yet prior to him, but I do see an elevation in their game. This is a young team thriving with confidence, and they're going to look for him, a guy to, down the stretch, give them that much-needed offense that they didn't have last year.
No,
That's
for
why you're
sure.
going to go to Vegas?
What's that?
That's why you're going to go to Vegas?
That's why I'm going to Vegas.
1,000%. I mean, in terms of what he can do for this team. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear age, right? So everybody's, he's a dip off in his age and stuff like that. You go back and you look at his rookie year, he averaged 20 points a game, shot 43% from the field, 28% from three. You go to last year, 26 points. But I'm basically rounded up giving 27, 52%, 53% from the field, right? 44, I'm going to give him 44%, not 43 from three. At an old age, I'm going to push him up because I expect for him to do that. It doesn't matter, man. This dude, no matter, stop. It doesn't matter what people say about his game. It's been the same ever since he walked into the NBA.
Yeah.
The only thing he's done is gotten better and better and better and better. Him and LeBron are the only two dudes that's old. The game just keeps getting better. Literally.
And Steph.
Oh, well, yeah,
Steph is 36, I believe.
Yeah, but the game just keeps getting better. And all we want to talk about is the age and the production. I'm like, what? It's the same. What's the problem? It's the same. It's the same. If you did a blind test, one of them Coke bottle tests is blind, Coke versus this, you did that with KD them and didn't even know it, just look at the silhouette, and you said, boom, what about these numbers? Who did that go to? And you point to KD all day long.
All day long.
Paul, think about this when I say this, and then let me know if I'm right or wrong. I'm going to keep talking after that. I want you to think about that. KD is 101. From the time he walked into the NBA until now, he's been the best player on every team he's ever been on. Has that ever happened with any player from season one to the end of their career? Think about that. Now, when you look at what he's going to bring to the Rockets, it's that scoring punch. The Rockets were 13th in scoring offense. They'll be in the top 10 now with KD. Really good defensively. Fifth scoring defensively. But the impact he's going to have is with Tyrese, Jabari Smith, and Amin Thompson. He going to teach those guys. They're going to learn from him. That's going to be the impact that he's going to have. Take it off the court. Like the Rockets, when you look at their team with Sengun, Adams, Capella, those are guys that's going to be up front. Van Vliet, Reed Shepherd, who was the third pick and got no burn last year. He was the third pick of the draft, didn't play He'll play a little bit this year because KD going to get him open shots. And Finney Smith, that's 10 guys.
I forgot they got Finney Smith.
That's 10 guys. And so KD's a top 10 player of all time. He's probably a top 10 player in the league right now, probably top 7, at least for me. In a 7-game series, I don't see anybody beating the Rockets if this team is healthy. I don't see anybody beating them. Now, has there ever been a player from season 1 to season 16, 17, you've been a number 1 player every single year you've been on every single team you've ever been on.
Well, LeBron.
But
And
wait. Now with Luka, because that.
Well, you said 17.
No, I'm talking from start to finish. Start to finish of your career. Unless somebody from the Rockets make a huge jump, KD would have started his career as the best player and ended his career as the best player on the team.
The only reason why if you want to have the conversation, not necessarily the argument about LeBron, is because
Luka.
We are looking forward to the future. We had to make a move to get to the future.
But Luka is considered now the best player.
Yeah, because
when Mike went to the Wizards, he wasn't the best player.
Mike
That's all I'm saying.
Took a break for like 2-3 years.
No, Mike was the best player on the Wizards.
I was about to say, he still was the best player.
He was.
He was out there with Kwame Brown. Then.
Stackhouse is on that team. Jerry Stackhouse is on that team.
But yeah, Mike was still.
Mike was the best player.
Wearing number 45 and playing with his back to the basket.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that we don't think of LeBron as the same defensive player, but I think when you, I don't know.
Yeah, he probably
he's still
arguably the best player.
He's still the best player.
Well, he did make second team All NBA and Luka.
I mean, I just heard Mr. Paul Pierce say that Luka now is the best player on that team.
I believe
everything goes through Luka.
Yeah, I believe
no,
I just heard him say that.
Everything to go through Luka, but as long as LeBron.
No, he said it should go through Luka.
No, but it's not gonna happen.
And I'm gonna listen to somebody that played at the highest level.
I don't care if he's a top 75, a top 50 MVP in the NBA Finals. As long as number 23 is on the Lakers team or whoever's team, he's gonna go through him because he ain't settling for nothing less.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of a star player.
Coming up, the Packers finally drafted a first-round wide receiver. So can Jordan Love deliver Green Bay the NFC North for the first time as a starter? We'll answer that next week. The Jets will be Justin Fields' third team in his fifth NFL season. The former 11th overall draft pick is getting a lot of support from his new teammates. Safety and Andre Cisco told reporters, quote, "I'm excited for him to prove those who are doubting him wrong and those who are supporting right, because I think he's going to have a huge year." Keith. Will Justin Fields prove his doubters wrong with the Jets?
I absolutely believe he will. I think he hasn't really gotten a fair opportunity since coming from Ohio State. He goes to Chicago, and he's yanked in and out of the lineup his rookie year. He just never really got a fair shot. Then he's shipped off for Caleb Williams, goes to Pittsburgh. He's got a fight with Russell Wilson. He becomes the starter by default because of injury. They go 4-2 down the stretch. I mean, they go 4-2. Then they bring in Russell Wilson to take him down the stretch. That doesn't go so well. Then they say, hey, we really want you to come back and sign with us. He looks at the phone and pushes end.
He banged on him?
Yeah, he banged on him. And goes to New York where he has a home. He doesn't have to look over his shoulders to try to figure out, am I going to be benched? What's going to happen? And he has some young coaches with a lot of inspiration and happiness and joy to make you feel good. When you're in a good spot, Joy, you can be very successful because you're not stressed and thinking about the what ifs. They're allowing you to be you. And that's what he needs. He needs himself to be himself. He's got a receiver in Garrett Wilson he played with in college. It's just a totally different situation in Chicago and Pittsburgh. So I think he's going to wind up doing a lot of things that these doubters and these haters, they're going to be like, oh, man, they're going to find a way. You know how they go. Oh, he ain't that good. Only reason why, because of this, that, and the other. You know how they do that, internet guys.
Is that what they sound like? When was the last time you got hung up on?
Man, they ain't hanging up on Key.
Man, I'm just saying.
They ain't hanging up on Key, huh?
Not the hang up.
Oh, my God. Unimaginable.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Unimaginable.
I ain't in college no more. They ain't hanging up on me. College was a hang up.
Yep.
For sure. As a man, a grunt now, they trying to, but anyway.
Will Justin Fields prove the doubters wrong with the Jets, TJ?
You know what, Joy? If I was asked this question a few weeks ago, I would say no. I was on the field with Justin Fields last week. Justin Fields is going to have a good season this year. I'm convinced of that. His demeanor, the way he was working, he was accurate. Obviously, his routes on there, but getting rid of the ball on time. If it's supposed to be 5 without a hitch, he's getting rid of it. If it's supposed to be 5 with a hitch, he's hitching, he's getting rid of the ball. And so this situation, it's what Keith said. When you come into the league with so much promise and so much, the expectations of I'm going to be this type of player, and then you realize it's a business. And I'm in Chicago, I'm playing. Oh, no, I'm not playing. I go to Pittsburgh, I got a chance. Oh, okay, I'm probably going to back up Russell, but they're going to give us a chance to compete. Oh, I'm 4-2. I'm going to roll this season out now. I'm 4-2. And they bench you. You get discouraged. And there's times you stop believing in yourself. And they'll never admit that, but when people doubt you that matter, then you start to doubt yourself. And so now Aaron Glenn, he's our quarterback. He's going to be our quarterback. When you get that type of belief from your coach, that matters so much. And what I saw last week, I believe Justin Fields is going to surprisingly surprise a lot of people.
Paul, what do you think?
I think he's going to have every opportunity to prove the doubters wrong, because there's a difference when you're renting, leasing, and buying. We all know that. You're much more comfortable. And in New York, he's buying. He is going to have a longer leash. There's just a certain uncomfort. Like, you can't change the furniture. You can't paint the walls. And it's a little more uncomfortable. So, like, now in New York, he gets to buy. And he's going to have a little more leeway to make mistakes without looking over his shoulder. He's going to have the comfort. He's going to have the comfort from this head coach from day one. And hopefully, like TJ said, from watching him, that he can prove the doubters wrong. He has the weapons. He has the coach. He has everything is set up for him. He has, it's just something different when you have that coach and that staff around you and the teammates that's pulling for you, or you have that coach that's looking for you to make that mistake, and you looking over to the sideline. That look. So you got to look over to the coach to see if you about to. Time to go.
As soon as you make the mistake, you look to the sideline.
You already nervous.
Yeah, that's what
you can't even play confident.
That's how he was in Chicago and Pittsburgh. That's how he played. And it's tough for you to establish yourself when you consistently playing that way. So everything is set up for him that good year. I hope he does. He's a really good young quarterback, and he's going to play with his chip on his shoulder this year.
Little young, like he got a little like Jalen Hurts in him. Dude, bigger though. He's bigger than Jalen Hurts.
I mean, I think he's already taken a massive step. I think he's already taken a massive step to.
Dude, it ain't even Friday.
Paul, crazy.
God.
I think he's already taken a massive step already with what he did with the Steelers. It's looking more and more like Chicago was a really bad situation.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta brush my hair.
I can't.
All right, order in the court.
Yes.
He'll get his full opportunity with the Jets. They were a talented team last year, and they're more talented this year.
Yes.
We were talking about Aaron Rodgers earlier, and if the Steelers have done enough for Aaron Rodgers, and then talking about all of the talent that Aaron Rodgers had to work with last year. Now, obviously, some of it has left, but they've brought in new pieces, and they have a beginning of a culture-building experience that they have set up for Justin Fields, and he's the guy. It is important to have people believe in you. When you're playing with anxiety, you're not focused on what's happening on the field.
You're looking to the sideline.
Yeah, and you're also anticipating making mistakes because you know that someone is waiting for you to do it.
You're not even going to take a chance because you don't want to make a mistake.
Right.
So now when you don't take that chance, that may be a big play.
But what I think is interesting about Justin Fields' doubters, and this really will be, we can't say this is his first opportunity because he did have an opportunity with Chicago. And he was given an opportunity with the Steelers and turned them down.
He was coming along with Chicago, but the coaches from Chicago was ready to throw him under the bus to save their own rear end.
Of course, but he was the starter there. But in this situation, I think this is a full opportunity and the positivity and backing of the organization. What's interesting about it is the Steelers reportedly wanted to have him back. Yeah. He hung up on them.
Bonk.
Yeah, which is, again, unimaginable. But we're excited about the Jets because of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Because of what they've brought in, because of Aaron Glenn. And we're were questioning what the Steelers were doing with Aaron Rodgers, going with an older quarterback when they had Justin Fields in the building. So I think he's already on his way to proving doubters wrong from the opportunity that the Jets gave him to be the starter there.
Yeah, you played with him, TJ, and I'm sure you played with him, Paul. Dude's going games, and you look at him, and
You already know.
You already know. He ain't going to be here tomorrow.
You just look at their face,
it's
like,
over.
bro,
It's like, he
what?
ain't going to be here. They're going to not here tomorrow. They're going to cut him fast.
Going to game. Yep, buddy. Come on over here by me.
Come have a seat with me.
Come over here by me, buddy.
Told you this wasn't practice.
No way to play. Over to the NFC. The Packers drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. It's the first wide receiver taken in the first round by the Packers since 2002. What were y'all doing in 2002? Green Bay has not won the NFC North in 4 years, but the rookie is ready to help change that, saying he's doing everything he can do to get the Packers back to their winning ways. I was in high school.
Let's see, 2002. I was in fourth year in the league.
Yeah, I was with the Bucks.
Yeah, I was in the league also. We old. We're seasoned.
I'm cool. I still look
okay.
young. I'm just got a little more
Is he still
cheeks.
trying to pull the he's not the unk card?
No, I'm not no damn unk. What?
I don't.
Grandpa. Papa. That's what we call it.
No, we had some unks at your on Friday. For sure, some unks.
If I'm an auntie, you're an unk.
No, your attitude is auntie. It's the attitude.
I
Everything
accept this.
No, you got an attitude like an auntie.
I do have.
Not
I
really,
am an auntie.
Not really.
It's the attitude.
Not the mother, but the auntie attitude. Not the mother attitude, just the auntie attitude. Like you running something. You know, like you just everything is right.
TJ, well, the Packers changed their narrative this season, and by narrative, not winning the division.
Man, that's tough. That's a tough division. Yeah. To me, it's going to be between them, Detroit Lions. I'm not going to straddle the fence. I'd say the Packers are going to win it because of just the turnover with the coaching staff. I'm just trying to figure out what the Packers are doing. Like, they drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. Matthew Golden is a hell of a player. But, man, if you look at the receivers that the Packers have, Dontavian Wicks, big, quick, fast. Romeo Doubs, bigger, quicker, faster. I don't know what they're doing. Like, them two dudes that I just named are extremely good. And you drafting receivers in the and you also have Jalen Reed. Like,
so you think they should have drafted a different position?
Yeah.
Well, who's the number one?
I don't know who's the number one.
That's why, because nobody emerged. That's why they drafted. They trying
But
to
they
figure
have
it out.
so many guys. They trying to keep everybody happy instead of trying to figure out who is the number. Golden may be that. He can play. But that's more of a luxury than a necessity when they drafted him. And so I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they see something. Maybe I see these guys on the field, and I look at the size, the speed, the quickness, and I'm like, they drafting guys at your position? Maybe they doing things in practice that I don't see.
When they draft somebody in your position that high, your days are numbered.
100% your days are numbered.
That's just the reality of it.
Yes, I do believe they'll change the narrative. Jordan Love is only getting better. He's only going to get better. The Packers are a well-run organization. It does concern me, though, that Mark Murphy has stepped down, is running the Packers. That concerns me because he did a very underrated job running that franchise, and I don't think he got a lot of credit for it.
Yeah. Well, coming up, 15 years ago today, LeBron took his talents to South Beach. Was that the biggest move he ever made in his career? That's next on Speed. Today marks the 15th anniversary of the decision when LeBron famously took his talents to South Beach and joined the Miami Heat. It was a turning point in his career, leaving his hometown Cavs after 7 seasons to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to win his first 2 NBA titles. 15 years, that's crazy. 15 years. I was at Benihana in North Beach. And when he said he's taking his talents to South Beach, I ran around the entire restaurant yelling at everyone that they just made some money. You just got richer. You just got richer. He brings so much to an organization, and I think it was the most impactful move of his career. But, Paul, do you agree?
Well, definitely I believe it was an impactful move in his career, but a lot of things happened when Brown went to Miami. It definitely shifted the economy in Cleveland because it became a ghost town. I remember going there the year after, and he became a champion. But for me, the most impactful move of LeBron's career, I'm going to have to say coming to Los Angeles, because when he left to Miami, people forget he became a villain. You know, it was like he wasn't liked around the league no more.
When he went to Miami.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He was absolutely a villain.
He became a villain where, you know, before he was well-loved around the league, you know, MVP of the league, and then he went to Miami, he had a lot of dislike. But when you talk about impacting his career now, since being in L.A., he's won a championship. They're never going to forget that. Multimedia company, he became a billionaire. Like, starring in roles, what's the movie?
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Look, like, think about the opportunities he got since coming to Los Angeles. When you want to talk about his life impact on his career, L.A. took him to that next level as far as superstar. Now, he won his first championship in Miami. That impacted his career as far as, like, a guy who we projected to be the next great with Michael Jordan to finally get the monkey off his back to win a championship. Then he goes to Cleveland and win. But when we talk about his impact on his career, since being in L.A., and he only won one championship here, he's elevated everything in his life. His son became an NBA player. He's played with his son in an NBA game. Think about that. He's done things that he wouldn't have been able to do in other places. And that's why I think his move to L.A. was his most impactful move of his whole career.
You know, I hear what Paul is saying, but I don't know that L.A. has embraced him the same way that Cleveland has embraced him here in Cleveland after winning that championship, coming back from Miami. Yeah, it was sour grapes because of the decision, and he goes to Miami, and everybody's mad at him now. You know, there's some people from a positive standpoint. It was like, whatever, I'm a LeBron fan, and obviously Cleveland fans and a bunch of NBA people was negative about it. But going back to Cleveland, because he ain't getting no statue in L.A. unless he win another championship. It's just not going to happen. He may get his jersey retired, but he's getting a statue in Cleveland, and I'm not sure he gets one. He probably won't get one in Miami, right? They gave D-Wade one, but chances are he probably won't get one in Miami.
I don't know. I'm not totally sure.
If he don't get one in L.A., he'll have 1,000 murals. So,
of course he'll get the murals, but I'm just talking about in front of crypto, staple/crypto. I don't know that he gets one. I think he gets his jersey retired, but the statue thing is a little bit different. He'll certainly 100,000%, million% get that statue placed right out in front of Cleveland, right there in that stadium. A couple of them, probably all around the stadium.
They need to make one of them. You know that statue they got in Brazil? They need to make one of those.
They got nobody else. Of course.
Yeah, but that's impactful.
Like that
they were starving to death to have a championship in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They were not starving in Miami. They were not starving in L.A. You know, we could have gave Cleveland some of ours, and we'd still be up on them. Yeah. So it's like, sorry, Mo. That was just a little shot at Mo. But I'm just saying, though, so that was impactful to me, is the Cleveland thing. L.A. is just, I understand what you're saying, but he was doing that anyway in L.A. From Cleveland, from Miami, he was still in the movie business, in the television business, in the sports agency business. He didn't have to come to L.A. to do those things.
Steve?
I believe his most impactful move was, and Paul brought this up earlier, just different tangent, is how he educated his peers on the contract situations and one-and-ones, and I don't like what's going on. I'm the man to trade. He started Clutch, and they pretty much controlled the NBA and were controlling it. Guys up for a deal, they just sign it. Mm-hmm. LeBron once he started signing 2-year deals and 1-year deals with options, all the other players started to follow suit and realize, like, all right, you say you're going to do this? All right, I'm going to sign a 1-and-1 and make sure you do what you tell me. And if you don't do it, then I'm out of here. And so by doing that, you're holding the organization and that team to their word. And he gained power from that. And then the other players in the league also gained power for that. So to me, it was him educating his peers, educating other guys in the NBA that you don't just have to sign the max contract. If you sign that max contract, they can kind of do what they want to do. I want you to have the power and understand that you can have this power. I think that was more powerful than anything because now everybody is doing that.
See, I think, look, obviously I'm a Heat fan, so I'm going to say that this decision was most impactful. But it was that, and it was him becoming a champion. Like, he was not going to do that by staying in Cleveland. So coming to Miami, a culture that had already had a championship, teaming up with championship-level players and going to 4 straight finals and winning 2 championships in Miami set him up for it to be purposeful for him to go back to Cleveland, with him going back to Cleveland with the ability to know what it takes to be a champion, to know what it takes to put together a championship-level team, which led him to be able to go to L.A., obviously win another championship, and, you know, project into this superstar in multiple spaces. Because if he hadn't won a championship, we wouldn't be talking about LeBron in the same way that we are. So to me, even though there's like a lot of there's a lot of animosity still about the Heat situation, but it had to happen. It changed the course of the league. And listen, you know what? We don't mind being hated. It's fine over here.
We who?
We.
You shouldn't. You work in national television, girl. You shouldn't be picking teams and voting for teams.
We. Miami Heat. We.
You shouldn't do that.
We.
Cheering openly.
Yes.
On national television for teams, I dare you.
We.
Go Celtics.
Justin Herbert still looking for his first postseason win. Is this the year he and the Chargers finally break through? That's next on Speed.
Oh, funny, bro.
The Chargers are the first team to begin training camp, with veterans reporting next week on July 16th. They finished second in their division and made the postseason in Jim Harbaugh's first year. But heading into the 2025 season, they have the 3rd best odds to win the AFC West, behind the Chiefs and Broncos. So, Key, you picked them to win the division. Are the Chargers being disrespected?
I think they are. I mean, they finished second, like you said, last year. Now, all of a sudden, they dropped down to 3. Is that because Denver, all of a sudden, they make the playoffs and they make it interesting in Buffalo? So everybody thinks Justin Herbert threw, what was it, 3, 4 interceptions? So 4. Now this is 4. Okay. This is a Paul's been stuck on that number
In the
forever.
playoffs.
In the playoffs. Now this is a team that did not get better. In fact, they got better. They went out and got Najee Harris in the running game. They brought Mike Williams back in the passing game. And we already know what Herbert is. They bring in Khalil Mack back. Like, this team, to me, is exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants. You think about every program he's ever been, whether it was in college or in the pros, that second, third year for him has always increased. They won 11 games in his first year last year. I only see them getting better. I remember, you know, and when you talk about Justin Herbert, the quarterback, Peyton Manning, okay, don't you dare. Don't you? Okay, so hold on. Let me take a look at this real quick here, because I got something for you. So, Peyton Manning, in his first 80 games compared to Justin Herbert's first 79. 20,000 yards in the air, Justin Herbert 21. Touchdowns, 137 and 138. Interceptions, 45 to 100. I know you know who got the 100, okay? Playoff wins, both of them, 1-0-2, 1-0-3. Peyton was 0-3. Justin Herbert was 0-2. 3 quarterbacks to Peyton Manning's 1 QB. He done been in 3 different quarterbacks. 3 different head coaches. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, he's only going to get better. It's the same thing we said about Peyton Manning. Oh, he's this, that, here. Then he got better. Then all of a sudden he took off. He has the same type of pedigree with a good coach now. Yeah. That's going to be there for a minute. So I expect the Chargers to do extremely well. I don't, the odds maker got them at 3, but they're only plus 310 compared to the Broncos plus 300. So they're only 10 behind. It's not like it's a big gap between those two teams. But I don't see them finishing 3rd.
I'm not saying nice things about the Chargers until Lad McConkey comes on the show. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, Lad.
This is going to be the toughest the division has been in quite some time with the emergence of Denver. And I can see, it can go either way. I don't think there's disrespect here because obviously.
No, there's disrespect.
No, Kansas City, they're going to win the division.
Okay.
They're going to win it. Let's just say that. This is Mahomes' divisions every year. Now, it's a toss-up between them and Denver. Denver's getting better. They got the coaching. They got the young quarterback in Bo Nix. And based on the way the Chargers finished in the playoffs, in that disastrous 4-interception game to which he's only thrown 3 interceptions all season long, and we expect them to win the division?
You get good in this.
I hope they're not traumatized going into the season.
Yeah, for Durant.
Because I had them winning that game, and I looked out. He came in the biggest moment of the season. He came out and threw his worst game of the season.
You get an interception. You get an interception.
Here you go.
Coming up, Joey Chestnut and Usain Bolt are both the best at what they do. How fast could they complete the other specialty? We'll discuss that next on Speed. Usain Bolt and Joey Chestnut are the best at what they do, but could they excel at what the other does? So let's imagine a scenario. Both guys had to eat one hot dog and then run the 100-meter dash. Who would win, Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt? Oh, my God.
Bolt. Who's that?
Dang.
That dude can't run. Look at him.
Nah, because it's going to take Usain like 30 seconds or a minute to eat the hot dog.
He going to catch him.
It's not going to take him 30 seconds to run 100.
It's going to take him 30 seconds to eat a hot dog.
Yeah, he going to eat. Boom, done.
He going to eat it in 4 seconds.
He can't run, though.
He get 20 seconds.
He'll spot him 30 seconds.
What did you eat the most of?
Wings all day.
No, probably like some sort of fish.
Give me some wings.
What?
Some sort of white fish.
Sashimi. That's it for us. We'll see you
like some
tomorrow.
sashimi.
Bye.
Yeah.